Okay, so how do we turn history and historical consciousness into a problem, into a question, especially when history seems so natural to us moderns, especially when history is reinforced to us every day via education, via culture, etc. Uh, if you ask anyone about history, they can usually tell you two things. One, they remember taking it in school and usually not liking it, being bored to death with it, and thinking that it wasn't relevant to anything in their life. And two, even if they didn't like it, right? Even if people hate history, I've noticed this, that everyone can always repeat the motto, the truism, the cliche, that those who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it, which is an expression about the importance of history, right? The value of history, what history does for us as both individuals and as a society. So, um, but both those sort of aspects, both those sort of moments speak to the ubiquity of history and historical consciousness, how it's uh, really a testament to the fact that we overwhelmingly live in a historical culture, okay? And to such a degree that it just seems absolutely natural that we don't know anything else but history in terms of ways of negotiating the past. That it's very hard for us to think of things without history. Okay, so in terms of problematizing history, right? If you want to make history a problem or a question, it's difficult because we just think it's so natural. So how do we question or problematize something that's so natural, so ideologized in our minds, such a sort of a big thing? So a useful way to understand history as a problem or a question is to consider it as one way to process the past and not necessarily the best way to process the past. So if we can somehow say to ourselves that history isn't the only way to process the past, there's other ways out there, and that history isn't uh, the final end or the best way of processing the past, then we can start to problematize it. As I pointed out with the film that we watched last week, Memento, history is one of three ways, at least three ways, to process the past. The other two being memory and myth.